Appreciate you hitting the button. Welcome to the How to Hustle podcast. Where Hype. I am Hype on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hype. That's HYMPE. It's Hype. It's not hype. I'm not geeked up. Every time I come back, I got a new announcement. That means shit is going in the right way. As of now, we are on the I Say Radio podcast network. Shouts out to South Carolina. Shouts out to North Carolina. With the I Say situation, that will be Fridays, 10 a.m. So you check that out in July the 9th when it debuts. So by the time this comes out, we'll already be locked, loaded, and in there. GFT Radio Network, that is Tuesdays, Detroit, 2 o'clock. X Squad affiliates, Monday, 2 o'clock. And we also, WTNUphilly.com, Thursdays, 12:30. Trying to get something locked in for Wednesday. Y'all know stations, holler at me. What's up? All right, special guest for the episode. Introduce yourself to the audience.
What's going on, big dog? It's your boy Joose from the Chiilin with Joose podcast, aka the Nonchalant Don, also known as the Playboy of the Post Office, here checking in with the homie Big Hank. What's good, fam?
Nothing much. Shouts out to Baltimore. This is my third Baltimore guest, so you know what I'm saying? We now have Baltimore down as a hot spot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Millennials Anonymous, Lise Winnie, and shouts out to the OTR podcast.
Yes, sir.
Usually we start right off with the topic before we dive into the guests, but this is something that, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't let pass. Father's Day was a couple of weeks ago. Saw you put up a picture of your dad. Your head pop out there with a gas grill. I mean, with electric, not gas. What's going on out there? Where's the charcoal? Why are we on propane?
Electric grill. I don't even understand what that is. That's foreign.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a stove.
That is a conventional oven.
I saw that. I put that in my text and said, "Oh no, we got to talk about this. Where's the charcoal?" Shouts out to Kingsford.
That should be against all laws and regulations. That should not have been allowed. The camera should not even have worked to take that picture.
Copy. As long as we're on the same page with that.
You understand?
All right, now let's dive into the topic this week. The topic that we got this week is: are we teaching the kids the right things in school? Basically, it seems like the curriculum is basically what we're looking to dive into. Do we think that we strapping and arming the kids, and even the adults, with the right situations when they come out of high school, and now you got to face the world?
No.
What do you think? We let the guests go first.
No, we are not teaching. Even back when I was in school and when I graduated, the things that were in the curriculum that they were teaching us, to be perfectly honest with you, I use maybe on the lesser side of 10% of it. A lot of those things, even down to the history, wasn't really our history. It wasn't Black history. It wasn't things that even related to us. Granted, it was
true. Don't leave out the shit that was just flat lies too.
And a lot of them things, if not the majority of the things in the textbook that we read from back then, were all lies. If you didn't have someone in your life, or I hate to use the word woke, but a woke individual in your life who would guide you in the more accurate direction, you would really believe a lot of those things that were in at least the Baltimore County public school system's curriculum. You would think that is what history was. It was a form of history. But it wasn't our history.
If half of it is made up, then it's nobody's history. This is just somebody's lie.
Yeah. As we all know, the other side are known for lying.
I mean, hey, listen, we're not politically correct. We're not politically correct here on our How to Hustle podcast with Hype. So you know what I'm saying? If you want to go, let's go. All right. We don't tiptoe and dance.
The white people who told us
copy that not all of y'all. Shout out to the ones
not all.
Listening.
Not
Shout
all.
out the ones that hit the button.
Absolutely not all of you, but there are a lot of them who created those lies. There was the history that they want to create and portray and have us believe is really factual, which as you previously said was lies. All lies. And I don't know where we need to go. I mean, I know we have so much more work to do to be able to especially with our youth, teaching them, and just like you said, even some of our adults. It's so much work to be put in to correct those lies, and just change that. It just seems like it is so much, but it can be done.
This is what I would say. The curriculum is absolutely a problem. Uh, like you said, you use 10% of the things that was taught to you in your day to day. I'll give you an example from me. I do maintenance.
Mm.
At my job, you need to know how to read, you need to know how to write, you need to know how to count. Those are always the classes that I pretty much like would say. I would say this stuff like people would be thinking I'm lying. Like I would say this shit in school. You know, somebody who went to school with me. First day of school, I would raise my hand and I would ask the teacher, "What do I need to do to get a 65 in your class?" Because a
Mm.
65 is all I need to pass.
Right.
If you got 100 and I got a 65, guess what? We both got one credit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go to college to put myself in debt. And I know me, got to be self evaluations. Something I will constantly say on the podcast. Self evaluations are the most important evaluations. I know me. I know if I go to college and there's nobody making me go to these classes, all I'm gonna do is be at all of the parties and fucking with all the bitches that I can and kicked out by Thanksgiving. So for me, it was no point to go to college.
Right.
So because I knew that, I knew hit the ground running. Let's get a job. But
Right.
the curriculum is like needs to be adjusted. You need to have it like to the point where it's not individualized, but it's in groups.
Yeah.
If they put y'all in different groups in school, but they'll put you in like different academies and catalogs and all of that type thing, but you need to have it like, okay, these kids want to do history, so
Right.
let's put them in history
Right.
where they're going to learn real history of stuff that really happened.
Right.
These people want to be scientists, so put them in a situation where they need to learn this science, because like the periodic table ain't coming up in my day.
Facts.
Knowing Na equals sodium does not help me at my
Right.
job.
Right. So
Like,
you should educate based on. So are we saying you should educate based on interest?
absolutely.
Okay.
Because there's one thing that I will tell you. Like me, I'm Muslim, been Muslim my entire life.
Hmm.
Never paid attention to history ever. The week we were doing Islamic history, I was the one who was getting the A. I knew the answers to all the questions, and I'm paying attention now because I care about this.
Yeah. That
Y'all want
piece.
to talk about Julius Caesar and how Rome was built? I don't give a fuck. I'm not paying attention. I'm asleep. Wake me up when this shit's over. I got a piece of gum in my back pocket and get my breath right, so I can go crack on something in the hallway. Like, this is just like what it is. If you care about the subject, if it's going to pertain to what it is that you want to do, you got somebody who wants to be in communications, then put them in communications. Why are you teaching them science?
Right.
Like,
Don't teach them the useless.
somebody wants to do hair, somebody who wants to do makeup. Why are they sitting in a class learning about Julius Caesar?
That's a fact.
They need to know how to read, count, and write though. And
Yeah.
it's and these days you don't even need to learn how to write because
Hey,
everything is on the
you really
computer.
don't. You really don't. To be honest with you, a lot of the children that are going to some of the Baltimore City schools are being pushed through. So a lot of them can't read,
Social
can't write,
promotion.
but
Yeah.
are really being pushed on. I mean, it's really a thing. They have a thing called Project Baltimore where they investigate all of these schools in the city, and something of 80 to 85% of the kids that are pushed through, even if you just check something as small as the attendance, the kids aren't even there, but they're being
Mm-hmm.
passed, pushed through as if they're completely there. Their attendance is 100%. But by the time they get to maybe a teacher that, like you said, cares about the child's interests, that's when all the years of schooling before, you start to see they really don't have that.
See, it's even hard though to put that on a teacher because if you got once you hit high school, you got 7 periods in some schools, you got 30 kids per class. So
Mm.
that's 6 classes at 30 kids per class. I'm not expecting you to individually go to all these kids and figure out what it is that triggers them, what it is that they
Oh no,
like,
absolutely not.
and
No.
all of that. That's why I'm saying you need to individualize, my bad, not individualize. You need to put them in groups where it's like, yo, we're preparing you to, if you want to go to college and you want to study history, then you're already on the path to knowing some of this shit, like the shit that's going to get you to do whatever job history entails. I don't know, you can work at the History Channel or whatever. Like, it's something out there. Maybe I just ain't hip because I don't really give a shit about history. History that I learned that I liked history. It was just the shit that I liked. It wasn't everything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like you need to put them kids in a position where it's like something that they're gonna pay attention to. Cause like me, I was the type of kid like, look, I'm gonna tell you, like, yeah, I'm not gonna do none of this work. So I ain't even gonna disrupt your whole class. I'll be over here if I show up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We'll be over here. Me and my man will be busting it up. And y'all go ahead, y'all do you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But what is something that you think though that they should teach in schools that they don't teach right now? I
What
got something for you. I'll let you think about it for a second.
no, no, I
All
got it. I got it. I
right, go
got
ahead. Go ahead. Let's go
um
then, baby.
finances, credit.
Copy.
No, those things right there alone, when you first get out of school and you hit the ground running, those things are instantly right there. You know, like you said, most of us aren't going to be interested in going to like a 4 year university or something. We got to go out here. We got to work. We got to get the money. You got to provide or take care of yourself, whatever it is that you have to do. But we don't know too much about the money or credit. Like you can have all the money in the world. You can make as much money as you want to, however it is you get your money. But the world revolves around credit.
Mm-hmm.
I wish when I was in school I would have learned about that. I probably wouldn't have gone through half of the things I've gone through, messing up credit and working as hard as I have to do now to repair it.
I wasn't hip at all to credit. Like I said, I wasn't going to college, so I didn't. This is the problem: is most people mess their credit up at 18, 19 when you as dumb
Yep,
as ever.
yep,
Um,
yep.
my cousin, when I'm like 20, is like filling out a credit card application for me. I'm like, what the fuck is you doing? He's like, you gotta get a credit card. You gotta build your credit up. I'm like, the fuck is you talking about? He
Right.
like, look, they're gonna deny you for the first one because you ain't got nothing in your name, but it's cool. They're gonna send you something. And I got that first credit card off $300 limit, and
Yep.
it was like, all right, this nobody told me this. This was just the way that I looked at things was
Right.
all right. If credit is this important and this limit is $300, that means don't go spend $300 and then ain't got no way to pay the shit back. So it's like, all right, we gonna order a pizza. We can put that on a credit card because I know I got the $15 right here.
Right.
You gonna go get some gas? All right, I got the $25 right here. I would use the card like that one, maybe two times, and it was like I got the money in my pocket. Let's just go pay it.
Just go pay it
So
off.
then once the bill comes, it ain't no pay the minimum and you giving them $35 for
Right.
the next 8 years and you realizing you're never paying it off.
Yep.
You know what I'm
And then
saying?
also accrue and the monthly
That's what I'm saying. The bill
monthly.
$55, just pay the $55. Like, what are
Right.
you doing?
Right.
So that way I built my credit up great instantly and never even like nobody had put me on or nothing like that. But
Right.
that would be the one thing that everybody pretty much says is how to manage money, how to balance a checkbook, learning what an IRA is, like learning how to not have yourself in debt to the point where, like you said, if you did go to college and now you didn't accrue out into the real world, you finally get a job, you still in the hole. Like
Right.
because the whole system was designed for you to be fucked up. The system was designed for you to be a worker, somebody who has to depend on somebody else's situation to make yourself. And at that point, you done probably had a kid or two. Like so now, your whole situation is dependent upon somebody else.
It
Like
sure
so,
is. And
the thing
that's just
where,
what that life.
especially now, you need to teach like business, like how to
Yeah.
run a business, how to manage a business, because so many people are starting businesses like so young. Like kids are selling makeup in school and shit these days. Like kids got their Instagrams popping and their Snapchats popping off of stuff that they try to come up with on their own. And they just,
Absolutely.
flying by the seat of their pants. So they got somebody who's pushing them in that direction. But you need to be teaching them that shit in school.
Right. Right. Entrepreneurship. Black entrepreneurship. Because like you said, the system isn't designed for us. So we're playing a
We
dirty
didn't
game that
design the
we
system. We didn't design the system. So why would it be designed for us?
exactly we are forced to be in a system that wasn't designed for us. And unfortunately a lot of us are trying to find a cheat code to get out of it, but it's a dirty game. There is no cheat code. It's not for us at all, period.
The game is rigged. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit back AB, and they said, "Oh, nigga, this shit is XY turn to the right." What are you like?
Exactly.
What you
And
doing?
even if you did that, you still ain't gonna come out. You get what I'm saying? It's just unfortunate that it's
That's what I'm
not
saying.
designed
Yeah,
for.
they'll change it from A's and B's to X's and Y's. Like,
Yep. Real quick on your ass.
yeah.
Real quick
This was
on you.
something. Shouts out to the GFT Radio Network. Mondays with hashtag join the conversations on Monday nights 10 o'clock. Check the YouTube page at GFT Radio. Um, we was talking about this same topic, and I told him like it's funny because I had this on the table or something that I wanted to do, and talking this out then with them, I said this. LeBron and Jalen Rose is two black athletes that have schools. No, they ain't the only ones, but they just the two that came to mind.
Right.
I want to know what's the curriculum in their schools. Like,
It's
what
a
are
great
they
question.
teaching? Because I hate LeBron on the court, but off the court, he's the guy. Like,
Right.
he
Solid.
puts his folk. He's solid dude off the court. He put his folks on. And he always looks out. He always got something to say about what's going on. He don't just run and hide. So it's
Right.
like, what are they teaching these kids? Because like him and his friends, like, yeah, we're gonna go to the big agency, but we coming in to figure out how do you do all this shit so we can run our own agency.
Yep.
Because like every basketball player ain't gonna turn out to go to the league. Somebody's gonna be 5'3" and not that good.
Exactly.
Some football players going to be a little slow. He's going to be a little too weak. His arms not going to be strong enough. But you can always still be around the game. You could
Right.
be a manager. You could be a coach. You could be an
Right.
agent. Like you could be a trainer. There's so many different jobs to still be around the game and involved in the game. And it's like, are those things that they are teaching? Or those are things that need to be taught? If it's like, okay, this kid wants to be involved in sports, then they need to know all of these things. Cause like shit, you just use Britney Spears, for example, that's in the news right now, where her dad
Mhm.
then burnt off all his bread. But if she was learning how to manage her money and all that shit in school,
Right. She
she
may
would have been
not
able
have
to
been
see
in
like
that position.
we made 100,000 for this show, but 30,000 went into the account. Where the fuck does you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that
Absolutely.
work?
Absolutely. So I mean, man, because money makes the world go round, or credit makes the world go round, and since we lack so much knowledge in that, I mean, I stamp that right there. That needs to be, for me, that needs to be at the forefront amongst other things. But I feel like that for me is what really needs to be focused on, concentrated on, is finances, credit, and all that other things like that.
If you had to pick one more, because like I said, most of us would agree that it would have to be something in the financial realm. If you had to
Mm.
pick something else, what would another thing be that you think that they should teach the kids or should be
Um,
taught, should I say, in school?
I would like to say, I guess, criminal justice, maybe, um, reform.
The differences like in the laws.
Yeah, yeah, and actually understanding the laws, because there's a lot of mumbo jumbo
That's another
stuff
one.
inside of those things that, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I think the other day I was watching like the first 48 or something, and someone had a charge like aggravated resisting arrest or some it was something that just didn't make sense to me, that I had never heard before. And but that charge at that, or for that individual, like, held substantial time. But even the wording and the verbiage of the crime didn't even make sense to me. And I feel like a lot
That's
of
a
us
hell
get
of,
caught in that, a lot of us get caught in that nonsense, the verbiage of the crime, and the shit just don't make sense.
that's a hell of an answer because if you think about them kids that you think is all a lost cause because they trying to go out and do this, that, or whatever, if they got a
Mhm.
class in here teaching them about the shit that's going that's happening or gonna happen,
Right.
they will be all into that.
Exactly. And that
But
that right there
that's why I said
literally
from the
saved
rip though, you
millions of
gotta
lives.
gear it towards what. But that's why I said you gotta gear it towards what is it that's interesting them. Because like
Right.
everybody's gonna learn. Well, not everybody not gonna learn, but there's things to be learned in any and every situation.
Facts.
Like two 6-year-olds playing, and you can learn something from them if you looking to grab something from it.
Right.
Like
True.
so, yeah, like the kid that you think is going down the wrong path, if you sitting here telling him the difference in attempt and manslaughter, like you know what I'm saying,
Right. Right.
like
That
you
could
talking
benefit
all
him.
kinds of that can benefit him tremendously. Yeah,
That could, because don't teach someone who is interested in uh algorithm equations about manslaughter, and and felony versus misdemeanor. Don't, you know what I'm saying, that's not
because
what
like
they're.
that's some of these kids really want to know this stuff. Is why I always say, like, man, somebody's really sitting in this class trying to figure all of this stuff out, and don't let me be the one to ruin that for you. If that's what you're here for, that ain't what
Exactly.
I'm here for. But if that's what you're here for, I'm not looking to ruin your good time. Just make sure you
Exactly.
got the homework for both of us when they ask for it tomorrow.
But I definitely want to copy off of you.
Oh no, I used to tell teachers all the time. Look, if I don't do it in the class, it's not happening. So
Yeah, I feel you.
homework never is not nothing goes home but me. All right, these These books don't leave that locker. All right, them joints went in there in
That
September.
is
They won't come out until
crazy.
June.
Nothing goes home but me. That's
Hey,
funny as shit.
nothing goes home but me.
That's
All right,
funny as
now let's switch it up. Let's dive into the podcast. How long you been doing the podcast?
I've been podcasting for maybe 2.5 years now. Um, it was a when I first started, it was a great outlet for me. Just you know, just talking shit, just general conversation that you'll have with your mans or your coworkers or whatever. Certain topics that'll come up, and this was I feel like I started before, like not before like the internet was like really a big thing, but like pre-pandemic, before every single thing was internet based. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So a lot of the things we talked about were like sheerly organic on the podcast. Those were the things that I was talking about. Um, but for me, podcasting is a great thing, bro. It's such a huge community, I'll say. Now, like we said before, it's a gazillion podcasts. Oh yeah, but
What?
there is pop like I love it. I love it. Even before, I think the first podcast I got really into was the Joe Button podcast. Like that thing, that was the first one I ever listened to. And then of course after that I listened to mad other podcasts and things like that. But
Yeah,
podcasting is the shit.
once you open that door, you realize like I didn't know it was a whole world behind this.
Didn't know, but like I don't know how many people would tell you this, but that app that was on the phone, dog, I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, a lot
That
of people
app
say
that,
that.
that app has been on the iPhone for forever. I never knew what it was.
Yeah, first podcast I heard of was ESPN. Boy, Bill
Mhm.
Simmons was doing a joint. It was like trade deadline or something. It was like this shit is 2 hours of him just talking about the league. What the fuck is this? Like
Yeah,
that was the first joint
like
that I
2 hours
heard.
of gold.
Um, but this is my mom will always tell. My mom said this in '02. Like you could just do your own show, and it was like, nah, what the fuck she talking about? Like, how you do that? Now,
Right.
shit, you got a cell phone and Wi-Fi. You ain't even gotta have Wi-Fi.
You sure don't. You sure don't. All you gotta have is your network subscriber, and you good.
All
Like
right.
they
So
make
what's
they,
something that
they
you
make it so easy.
what is something that you've learned through podcasting?
That some people are fucking insane. Um,
Good or bad, insane?
Both, actually, both. I've been able to meet and network with a bunch of different people, good people, bad people, so on and so forth. So I think the good thing is that with the community being so large as it is, it's always something out here that you can take from anybody else's podcast, regardless of what I don't want to say what topic, regardless of what genre you listen to. Of course, I listen to society and culture, but then I may listen to some NPR or maybe even a gospel podcast or any. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many different genres of podcasts that I wouldn't even have known that I would have been into, that I'm now into.
The one thing about that is you could listen to five shows that all talk about the same topic and view it from five different angles.
That's
Is the
true.
shit that I like
That's
because everybody's pretty much going to have the same topics. Once it ain't but so many things to talk about.
right.
But the thing that makes them all different is the individual that's talking about the topic. Because
That's a
like
hundred true.
this person in Detroit is viewing this topic totally different than this person who grew up in Baltimore. Like
Right.
you just look at the world differently. So it's
Right.
like it's so many different. That's why I asked, is you talk about good crazy or bad crazy? Because you listen to some people joints and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you took your time to do this. Like, did you listen
Yeah.
to this shit?
Yeah.
Did y'all even talk about this before y'all did it? Or like,
Yo, and
and
you'll
then
and
some
you'll see
people
no, they
shit.
did not.
Go ahead, what you say?
I said, and you'll see that no, they did not know what the hell they were talking about. No, they didn't listen. No, they didn't do nothing but hit record and just start jabbering.
That's what I'm saying. And then some people shit you'll listen to and you'll be like, damn, I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's a bunch. I really like to listen to a lot of podcasts. Not from I listen to podcasts within my city too, but I like to, worldwide, just like you said, to get different perspectives on probably the
International hype, hashtag international hype. You understand? You can't just keep it to your local situation. I need to know what's
yeah,
going on all over so that when I reach down, go here, there, wherever, I got a feel for what's going on there.
exactly,
You
exactly.
don't want to come in and not know the lingo because like something that might be slang here might be something totally different down there, and it's like, well, what the fuck you
Exactly.
say that? It's like you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just
So
know
yeah,
you just never know, but that's why you gotta have that's why you gotta reach out and have those different kinds of conversations and such.
absolutely.
Uh, so tell me this now: what is one thing that you haven't accomplished with the podcast that you're looking to accomplish?
I'm looking to get into more of the visual. I'm not a big visual type of guy. I'm not a big be on camera type of guy. I'm a low key in the background. You can hear my voice. I'll talk my shit all day long, but I won't do it on camera. So that is the next thing for me, is to break out of that shell, so to speak.
That got to be a tricky balance then to do the podcast that way, don't it?
It is. It is. Cause I mean, not to say that I've accomplished everything on the audio side, because I haven't. I know I'm still working on that and still learning different things. But it's the visual side now that I can see that if I was to step outside of my comfort zone, that may take me to a different level. I may lateral into something else too. So that's one thing that's been heavy on me about doing and getting out of my comfort zone with that.
It's one thing that I will say is you got to be willing to be uncomfortable. You
That's
got to be
true.
willing to do some shit that you don't want to do to make the shit that you want to have happen.
It's very true.
Because if shit was just going to all fall in place for you at this point, it fell in place for you.
Yep.
And that goes for all of us. Like you can't just
That's
say like,
true.
well, this is the way that I'm doing it because this is the way I want to do it and this is how I'm doing it.
Right.
And if it hasn't been working, I'm saying not specifically you, but just in general for all of us. Like
Right.
that shit might work, but that shit might work a little bit better if you're willing to bend just a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly. And I know for me personally, being complacent is a thing for me. And I know when I do finally step out and get uncomfortable, they do tend to work in my favor. And I'm not afraid of them not working in my favor, but I do see the difference when I get out of my comfort zone. So I'm definitely aiming at doing that more.
It's also a difference in it didn't work and it didn't work yet. Just because you think, oh, I've been doing it for 3 weeks
Right.
and it ain't working, up shit ain't work. Like that's 3 weeks. Like
Right. Patience is key
it's
too.
like, yeah. Like if you make a decision to go, all right, I'm gonna try to start doing my visual thing. I'm gonna try to do my YouTube thing. You can't go, oh man, my first joint's only got 10 views. It's like, well, you've been doing this shit for 3 weeks. Who knows?
Right.
You
Exactly.
and your three homies know, and four people who like really following all your shit, like they all subscribed, but you ain't really pumping it out there. You ain't really putting it in nobody's face. You're not making it a priority for nobody else. When it's not a priority for you, it ain't gonna be a priority for them.
Exactly. Exactly. You hit that right on the nail, big dog.
That's what I'm saying. You see, as soon as you jumped in the comments, yo, what's up, man? We can turn this shit into something. Like you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah,
That's
hell yeah, my
that's how
G.
I move all day long. Like I'm back and forth Instagram and Twitter all day. Like, well, look, we can turn that into an episode. People jump in your comments talking about shit. Whoa, let's not burn that out here. Let's talk about that on
Yeah,
camera.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Let's put that somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hundred
All
percent.
right. So before we wrap this show up, podcast drive through, we like to be 30 minutes, get you in and out. Let the listeners know where they can follow you at.
You can follow me on Instagram at Chilling with Juice Pod. Follow me on Twitter at I'm Chillin'. And you can stream the podcast, the Chilling with Juice podcast, on every streaming platform, including Amazon Music, but not limited to it. But definitely catch me on Twitter. That's where I really get it off at. That's where I'm really free at. So follow me there. Check out the podcast. You'll have a good time, I swear.
All right. Appreciate you for coming on.
No doubt,
That
my
is
man.
the episode. Now, like I said, let's rerun through this list because got a lot going on here. Mondays, 2 o'clock, X Squad affiliates. That's 2 o'clock out of Atlanta. We Tuesdays, Detroit, 2 o'clock out of Detroit, the GFT Radio Network. Thursdays out of Philly, 12:30 on the WTNUphilly.com. And Fridays now on the I Say Radio Network out of North Carolina / South Carolina, 10 a.m. on your Friday mornings. That's the episode, y'all. We are out.